If you need to record a podcast remotely, riverside.fm is the place to do it. Alex and I have been making Two Dudes Watch Cartoons remotely across states, pretty much across the continental U.S. for 3 years now. We've tried several things, and this is what works best, honestly.
Zoom turned out terrible. We used a couple other ones that we paid for that turned out terrible.
You're looking at the interface right now. I think I'm doing the screen record correctly.
Riverside has made doing this podcast as easy as possible. Riverside FM.
Head to the link in our bio to get started. That's riverside.fm. Today.
Hey, watch this episode on YouTube.
Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Two dudes watch cartoons. Yeah.
Welcome back to Two Dudes Watch Cartoons, the podcast where two dudes, that's us, watch cartoons. My name is Evan.
And my name is Alex, and thank you for joining us again on another episode. This is kind of a special one. I don't know why. I'm super excited too. So we talk about this a lot. I want to get into the context, but today we're covering Akira. Which is one of our, now I don't know if this number is correct, but by my count, it's one of our 4 lost episodes that we've recorded that will never, ever see the light of day.
I don't know.
Do you
that
think
I
you
even
could
have
name the
them.
others?
Rick and Morty, Steven
Yep.
Universe,
Yep.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah. That was the one I thought you might forget.
Yeah, because we did that like a year later too, I think.
Yeah, well, we actually covered Spider-Verse with Stark Wars, but there was
No.
that was
I
the
mean,
first.
We recorded those first 3, and then we did the Spider-Verse commentary like a year later.
A year after the fact.
That was
yeah,
like 2018, maybe.
Yeah. In our pursuit to nail down the format of the podcast.
Yeah. And then, thank God, we let it rest, but we came back to it in 2020. And here we are. This is 66 episodes, plus a couple bonus here and there.
66 plus, baby.
Yeah. But Akira, one of the lost episodes we watched. That was your first time watching this movie in 2017, perhaps?
Sounds right. Yeah, 2017. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never seen it back then, and I was just telling Evan before we started, this was like a whole new movie to me. I don't understand what it was, but like I think it really does benefit knowing what it's all about going into it, because I do think during my first watch through, I just like had trouble following along. Like they really just throw you into everything that's going on.
Yeah. I mean, I'll even say this is my 3rd or 4th time watching it. And granted, it's a couple years in between each time, but it's like every time I start it up, it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's going on? What is
It's
the
confusing.
setting?
It's good. The movie's really good. I love the movie. Had a great time watching it. But there are parts, and I'm like a dedicated watcher, where I was confused. I was like, is this something I should know? You know what I mean? I was like, is there like a TV series I missed? There's not. But like, I was like, but then they do explain them later on, and there's context clues you got to pick up on. And I think that's why on your first watch, sometimes it can be like, am I just supposed to know who this Akira is? Like, what
It's
the
a lot
fuck?
to take in. So it is based off of a manga. It's by Katsuhiro Otomo, who is also the director. So he made the manga, also directed this. Came out in 1988. Here's a brief synopsis from Letterboxd. A secret military project endangers Neo-Tokyo when it turns a biker gang member into a rampaging psychic psychopath that only teenagers and a group of psychics can stop. And this is not I feel like this is not anything you would get from the poster or the trailer or the first couple of, like, the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie.
There's a lot of layers. You know, this is so funny. It's post World War III. It's 30 years after World War III, 2019, Neo-Tokyo. And so it's post a World War III that we never saw. So you start off in like biker gang Japan, and then slowly the movie twists to like psychic demon childs or whatever.
Yeah. I guess I was gonna say we're fucking idiots for not doing the podcast in 2019, and that would be 30 years on the
That would
dot.
be
or no,
when
2018. Yeah. Oh, I guess we're 35. Is that a significant number?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, here we are, 2023, celebrating another year of Akira. But it is widely celebrated as, one of the greatest animated films of all time, one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, one of the greatest films of all time. So this is definitely something, if you have not seen it, put it in your queue, because this is a must-watch.
I would say more than like most animes, this feels super sci-fi. I think it almost feels better to call it sci-fi than anime. Granted, there are sci-fi animes, but generally when I think of anime, I think more like fantasy, where this was like straight up futuristic, biker gangs, lasers.
Cyberpunk, if you like. Blade Runner. Yeah. This shit, this will be right up your alley.
Yeah.
But yeah, the poster is just a guy in a red jacket and a red motorcycle. And then I was like, halfway through the movie, I was like, man, that red motorcycle really.
Character? This is the other problem. Is they present him as the main character, and the story kind of switches away from him for a good while.
Yeah, I think he's the main character. He's maybe the perspective of the audience, who's like everyone's discovering it at the same rate that Kaneda is.
Kaneda, that's our lead.
I do want to make a quick point of clarification. Last episode when we had Courtney on, I misspoke and I said Joshua Seth voices Kaneda. That's false. Joshua Seth, the voice of Tai in Digimon, voices Tetsuo, who is the other main character in this film, the antagonist. Yeah,
instantly.
Yeah, but also Kaneda's voice actor is Johnny Young Bosch. I don't know if you recognize him or his name.
The voice sounded really familiar, so I imagine you're going to connect a dot for me. Who is it?
He's done a fair amount of anime voice work. I think Trigun it's not anything I've really watched, but I think he's the main character.
Okay.
But 90s kids might recognize him as the second Black Ranger, the Asian guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Adam?
yeah.
Adam, was that his name?
I used to love Power Rangers. No surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
That's great. A good callback there. So while we're on voice acting, though, I want to go over something, when I'm watching old animes, it's really funny because I would watch anime as I was younger, and I wouldn't listen for people's voices. That was not something that I thought of. But as you get older, you realize there's only so many anime dub voice actors. They repeat often in many projects. I wanted to give a shout out to one, though. His name is Christopher Sabat. This man has touched almost every piece of legendary anime that has ever existed, and his voice is just iconic in and of itself.
Can I guess? Because it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Is he Vegeta?
He is Vegeta, correct. He is Christopher Sabat in this movie. Akira plays the general who is in charge of the whole Akira program, and he plays voices such as Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Yamcha. He plays Zoro in One Piece, and he's the legendary All Might in My Hero Academia. He's also been in Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist, Fairy Tail, Attack on Titan, Ranking of Kings, and he was even in an episode of Vox Machina. So this man is a legend, and I just wanted to give him his props because his voice is also iconic. It's one I instantly, when I go back and watch these older animes, I'm like, that's All Might. That's All Might, baby.
Yeah, I started One Piece, the anime. I made it through like Arlong Park, and first episode Zoro's in, I was like, that's motherfucking Vegeta. And then as I kept watching more episodes, I was like, oh, Usopp is just Krillin. And it's just Krillin's the voice. It's just the same voice cast as Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, no fucking way. But
Funimation is very notorious for using a ton of the same voice actors. And so, like I said, he now to me will always be All Might. I just always recognize him as that. I am here. And so I think he has just a great voice for anime, but he's been in the business for almost 35 years, dating back to this movie. So
yeah,
props to this man. His voice has only gotten better with age.
Yeah. Same goes for Joshua Seth. Ty, this is 1988. This is this 10 years? 10, 11, 12 years before Digimon. Probably one of his more like wide, broad, mass appeal roles. And this man is about to do another dub of Digimon in the year 2023. We're going to get him playing Tai in college, post-college. There's new movies coming out. You're
on an anime
movies.
kick, my friend.
I'm loving it. You know, thank God for... No, I'm not going to say thank God for the strike, but we have been watching some bangers on this pod.
Yeah, that is true.
Because as a result.
Now that we've gone through the voice, let's go through like... I don't really think we need to hit like beat by beat on this because...
Now, if it were the year 2017, we
would go through every single scene
that's why
in
those episodes are
excruciating
lost.
detail. We never gave our opinion on anything.
No.
Here's how the sauce gets made, baby. We used to just recap, and it's even you could go back and listen to our Avatar ones.
Yeah.
We were recappers.
We're a work in progress, you know.
We're ever changing.
Yeah, but what do you want to touch on first?
I think this movie, something we're very critical of, and I'm going to keep across the board, is too long. I think there are scenes that don't need to be in this movie. It's about 2 hours. Okay. I think you could have chopped it to 1 hour 45.
I don't mind.
See, I thought it was a little long.
Okay, that's fair.
Where's my raggedy staunch Evan that's normally here?
Fair criticism. Maybe it's because I love the world that it paints.
That's fair.
And, you know, I love like Blade Runner 2049 was a movie that flopped at the box office. Pretty long, but I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's like one of the... I bought it on digital for some reason, but like I love going back every couple of years and watching it. So I don't mind. In this case, I think the extra time is utilized well. Because I think the anime itself, or the manga, there's also more to it. Like I think it's
that doesn't surprise me because there's things that I'm watching that I'm like, should I know this already? And that's what led me to believe there was stuff that I hadn't seen. So yeah, there's some stuff on the chopping room floor. And look, I wasn't like I was ready to walk out at 1 hour 30. I noticed it was a bit long on my couch this morning.
Yeah, I accept it. I accept that. Yeah.
And it's a critique we have for everything else. So I am going to stay consistent.
By the book, Broussard.
That's what they called me.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, this movie throws a lot at you. So first 5 minutes, this movie about a biker gang. Fuck yeah, this is sweet. I'd sign up for 2 hours of that. And then it really quickly changes up almost everything.
This scene's confusing. Let's be honest. This starts the whole thing because there's a biker gang of clowns, which never comes back into the whole thing, but they're beating on him.
Kind of, yeah.
And then the government shows up to collect one of their Akira kids. How? What?
Wow. There's also riots going on. They throw you into this unruly political climate without giving you much background. But they immerse you in it. It's fully immersive.
And we find out these are high schoolers, which also was not on my list of things I was expecting. But that's Neo Tokyo, man, 2019. Live fast, die hard. Here's the thing I don't understand. Maybe I'm dumb, but it starts off here. How does Tetsuo get his powers? Or how does the government know he has his powers?
Tetsuo gets his power in the crash with the little Oa Guardian. Yeah, they talk about it.
I know, but I just missed it. You got to explain it to me. Give it to me like I'm 5.
Biker gangs are fighting in the streets. The clowns versus Tetsuo and Kaneda. They go into the old part of town. Old town? I don't know what it's called. And meanwhile, Benjamin Button kid, psychic kid, who looks like one of the Guardians from Oa, for any Green Lantern fans, is milling about. He's escaping the government, the military, and there's rebels.
It's Stranger Things-esque, these children.
It is. That was this whole time watching. I was like, oh, this is Stranger Things. It's like ripping from this basically. But so, anyways, those two things coincide in the old part of town because that's where the kid's trying to escape from. Tetsuo crashes into him, and the kid does like a little ESP block, a little telekinetic force field, blows up Tetsuo, and whatever that encounter somehow imbues Tetsuo with powers.
Okay, that makes
that's-
sense.
Yeah, that's one of the things where I
I'll
get
take
confused is anytime there's this like little cool visual effect where they're looking at like some device that shows like a pattern circulating, and the scientist keeps talking about it. It looks like those old like MP3 visualizers on like a Windows computer.
They never fully. I never understood what was going on there.
I don't know what is happening there. If
The
anyone
scientist
can,
at the end, he's watching the whole thing play out. He goes, "This is the creation of the universe," and I was like, "What, dude? How did we get there?"
it reminded me a lot of like 2001: A Space Odyssey towards the end, or
Yeah,
like
that's so true.
Interstellar, that kind of thing, where it's just like happening and then it's
Yeah,
quiet.
whoa.
And it could be anything, and I'd be like, yeah, that's fucking sick, dude.
So, it's
If any of our listeners know what the
Please
visual pattern is, what's happening there, please explain it.
I love
Explain
it.
to us
They're like
we're five.
seismographs. Here's what I'm
Yes.
picturing. It's like seismographs for psychic energy. That's my only explanation for it.
I'll take it. Makes sense to me.
But when he then goes, "This is the creation of the universe," I was like, "Bro, what are we now? How did we get here? What are we measuring actually?"
Yeah. But also, Tetsuo goes 0 to 100 pretty quick upon.
Did he always have
coming
the
into
big
power.
head? Because that was like a sign of his psychic powers.
It gets
in my
bigger.
opinion.
His
Okay,
forehead-
I thought it gets bigger.
I don't know if it's supposed to, but because his hair starts, I feel like his hair gets longer. It starts doing like
Starts
Super
going
Saiyan
Super
thing.
Saiyan a little.
Yeah.
Did
but
we
then
just say that at the same time?
because it's standing up now, it also looks like his forehead's getting bigger the whole time.
I think
You
it
know what I mean?
does. I
It
think
goes
his
from, like, a
brain
4 to a
mass
5
is
head.
actually, getting bigger and bigger. Because his head was huge.
What was that movie? It was like a live action movie with Dane DeHaan, a bunch of kids. Like they fall into a hole with a meteor. 3 of them get powers.
Dylan
Michael-
Dunn's gonna murder you for not knowing the name
Dylan
of this
Dunn,
movie.
what
It's
is
his favorite. It's Chronicle.
Chronicle is this movie?
Yeah, Dylan Dunn's gonna actually come to your house and murder you for not remembering
Apex
that
Predator.
movie.
Yeah.
But but that is what it is. They get these unreal ESP powers, telekinesis, where they can move anything with their mind, including themselves. So they fly, they block, they push, they pull.
Tetsuo
It's-
teleports at one point. That
He's-
was cool.
Yeah, he got an upgrade in powers. Like I didn't know what was going on there, and then he also started being able to morph his body. So he it was crazy. Go ahead.
I think before we move on from the beginning motorcycle gang part, we have to acknowledge why this is one of the most influential pieces of anime of all time. It's
Strictly the bike.
The Akira bike slide.
Yeah.
And there's compilations. I've seen them on Twitter and TikTok of like anytime you see like a front shot of a bike, a motorcycle sliding and like
Perpendicular.
yeah, it's a nod to Akira. Like Adventure Time. I feel like there's probably like
There's a
Simpsons
ton.
version. There's
I
like
can't even-
every
yeah.
popular piece of animation has done it at one point. I think Jordan Peele in Nope. There were
There is. There
there's
100%
a bike
is.
slide in there, and I think also he I don't know if he made the comparison or it was like a TikTok, but the scene where, spoiler for Nope, the people get sucked up into the monster. Someone put that like side by side with when Kaori is getting consumed.
Yeah.
So there are those visual elements.
Well,
in there.
it's from the 80s. A lot of our favorite directors, I don't want to say we're growing up then, but that's like an influential time for a lot of famous movie makers.
Mhm. Seth Rogen in the TMNT press tour, there's like a clip of him in an interview saying, like, of course I love Akira. I don't know what the context was.
That was
He was like, yeah.
an interviewer
And then
was
he
like,
was
"Do you like Akira?"
This is a little different. It's like,
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Turtles is a little good movie though, which is streaming. Maybe I shouldn't plug it, but it's on Paramount now. You should watch it. I think you'll enjoy
that's
it.
plugging anyways.
I
Okay,
know.
so we keep doing it. I need to mention I think it's my favorite joke to come out of Rick and Morty in years, but I think it's season 4, episode 1, if in all honesty. but Jerry at the end goes, "You turned our son into an Akira." Like he says it in perfect like Japanese inflection, and then he goes, "I don't want to see any more anime adventures." And I just think it is so peak Jerry. It's absolutely
no more
hilarious.
Anime. It's that inflection.
Anime. It's the inflection. That's what it is. So good. And so anytime we say Akira, I like start laughing a little. I'm gonna be honest.
Do you remember that Rick and Morty? There's like a Pokemon like game on iPhone. There was because you would capture different Mortys, and there was one that I think is like a Tetsuo version with the cape, but it's Morty obviously. So
it's
touched
Akira
Rick and Morty. Yeah. Hugely
classic.
influential, yeah. But then this is where, so that's like maybe 5 to 10 minutes into the movie, and then this is where you sort of not splinter off, but it opens up into this whole other
government.
There's a lot of players here.
So let's not go with the messy timeline of the movie of like when we find things out. Let me see if I can take this from the beginning and give you an accurate timeline of what I think happened here.
Okay.
30 years ago, World War III, they said it was a nuke, but it was actually Akira that blew up the city and creating Neo Tokyo. And so later, the government now has saved every part of Akira that they could in separate jars. And I think they're taking the cells from them and implanting them in children to get the Akira power. And they put these children away. And are they Benjamin Button-like because they've just never seen sunlight? Like they grow up underground their whole life? What's going on there? Why do they look old as shit? Do their powers just age them?
The kids have also been alive since the 80s, right? That's what happened.
I don't know. I'm asking. You're telling me now.
I think so, because they flash back towards the end, and there's
so they survive.
Akira.
They're old.
They're old.
They are old. They're not
but
actually
their bodies
kids.
don't. I don't know. No, I do. I don't know.
Because they were with Akira. They all knew Akira.
Yeah. They all grew up.
You're right.
Yeah. And those are the.
So there was just the government psychic. I love this trope.
It makes them old.
Of old-timey governments trying to create psychic soldiers, and it always going awry.
Yeah. Not that I want to push back, but I do want to stop on. So you're saying you think the timeline of the movie or the pacing wasn't. Obviously, you felt like it could be shorter. What were your qualms with it?
There was times I was just confused. I feel like I didn't understand fully Kandida and Tetsuo's dynamic until they were flashing back at it till the end. Maybe that was the time I'm supposed to learn about it, but it just felt like that should be how the movie starts almost. I don't know. You know what I mean? So there's that. I didn't understand who the fucking old kids were or like what, like I didn't know their relation to Akira at all for so long. They were just there, and like they were like guiding the whole story, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing here? You know what I mean? I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And they keep talking about Akira, and he's like, I gotta find this Akira. Like, what? I don't understand exactly what Tetsuo is doing besides just raging. You know what I mean? There's just stuff I think that is not 100% clear because they don't always reveal information linearly, which is actually one of the strengths of it at times too, is it feels very adult. It's not talking down to kids at all. This may be the first property we've ever covered that has nudity in it. There was a full set of tits that popped up. Full boobage.
Full boobs. Timestamp 40. No, I don't know.
So, while I am ragging on it for this viewing and my first viewing of Confusion, I do think it has its strengths as well. So I don't want to completely downgrade that.
Yeah. So the manga is 6 volumes, 120 chapters.
That's a lot.
Ran from 1982 to 1990. So I think one is that part of it is like,
yeah,
I imagine
there is probably stuff we are
a
missing,
big chunk of story.
Yeah.
But I mean, that thought did occur to me, watching this movie for the third time. I was like, man, I really don't remember the context or like what is happening and why. But is that I think it shows how well they tell a story by planting intrigue throughout, and they don't give you all the pieces till towards the end, as opposed to something which I love ragging on, which is like Disney Star Wars stuff, or like an episode of Ahsoka where they just Ahsoka, whatever, and they just like name drop Ezra, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and like they do all this like front loading and exposition, and like it's like a paint by numbers. They have to give you like, oh, make sure, hey, we're gonna name drop this thing, so we make sure you stick along because the strength of the storytelling isn't there.
I do complain when I feel like things are too hand-holdy. I almost feel like there was a couple points where I was like, wait, grab my hand, please. Pull me, tell me just a little bit more. You know what I mean? So you are right though. I got the basic gist of it all. I do, but like I said, I left feeling like I had a lot of questions still. So maybe I got to read the manga. Sure. Maybe that's where that takes me.
I'm not,
And the world building was great. Just so I'm not ragging on it, I thought the animation was beautiful. Like, this is my style of animation. When I think of an animated property, I want it to look like this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I thought that was great. The action is top notch. Like, if you're into action animes, this is, I mean, you're gonna love full hour 30 of this 2-hour movie.
Hyper violent. These high schoolers are fucking knocking heads off with crowbars. It's insane.
With little to no explanation. So if you love random violence, they throw you right in the middle of it all. One thing that I did think was funny, another negative, is the dub is terrible. Their voices don't match. Their voices, Kaneda's voice does not match up a single time to anything he's saying. What's his name? Tetsuo is fine, but Kaneda in particular, his dub is way off. Like, it looks awful.
That is a shame. But I mean,
it's a product of the
beautiful.
80s, though. They still aren't perfect with it.
Yeah, and this is, I want to say, what popularized anime. In the West. So got to give it its due. The budget for this movie, $5.7 million for one of the greatest animated films of all time. I looked it up because I was like, damn, that doesn't seem like that much money. Why don't we still make movies like this? Inflation in 2023, according to this inflation calculator that I found on Google, is like $12 million. That's got to be way cheaper than anything that DreamWorks or Pixar or Illumination.
I mean, the Mario movie had to have cost like over $100 million.
I'm gonna look it up, but yeah.
Let's take it. No. This is important news. I want to know. So Akira took about $12 million to make. We think that is low by today's standards. They were including inflation, which I actually think is important to do.
The animated Nintendo movie had a budget of $100 million, which is typical of such CG animated movies. And it's netted $1 billion.
But it netted $1 billion. What did Akira net?
$49 million.
On a budget of $5 million? That's great.
Double that, like $100 million. Yeah. That's 10x. Man, that's
okay. So it did do what it needed to do then. And they probably had very low expectations for, one, an animated property in America, and two, just like anime. Because I bet you, like, back then, even a lot of like self-proclaimed nerds wouldn't be like, no, I don't read manga and anime. What are you talking about? They're like, I'll read a comic book like an American.
I wonder, like, is it just that we've lost the crafts people for it, the market for it? Like, I don't know.
I think the market's changed.
Really?
I think, because
like, Tarzan
it's not
was
just
banging in the fucking 2000 whenever it came. Tarzan?
No. The anime's at its peak of all time right now. My Hero Academia is the most popular anime of all time, and it's not even close at the moment.
I know, but I'm saying 2D animation in general.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I see. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking specifically anime.
Yeah, I don't know, but
2D animation. Well, it takes time. That's what it is. It takes way more time.
True. Okay. It's so lame because
It's capitalism.
Capitalism looks so good.
It's amazing. It looks really good. It's why we like things like Pinocchio and Marcel the Shell. We're like, we can feel the time and effort that was put into this. Same with this. You can feel how long it took them to animate these scenes.
And I think I'm still just angry about the reviews for Pokemon, the reviews for Digimon. They called it mediocre animation. Fuck off. Like, that shit is incredible.
Yeah. I don't understand mediocre animation. That's a... Okay, so where are we at in this movie? We're like in the middle portion.
The kids.
The kids. We're at the kids.
Benjamin Button kids, yeah.
They're old, but they look like kids, and they're strong. They're super psychic.
Do they have different powers? Do they each have the same?
I think they have different powers, but I don't know what each of their powers are.
Okay.
Because the girl can do something that the others can't, but I don't know what it was. Could she see the future?
I remember her like astral projecting into Kay, the girl. She would
did
like
do
speak
that.
through.
She
Kay.
did speak through. At one point, Kaneda goes, Kai! And I was like, no, wait, what? How are you going to have two characters with that similar of names and then have them on a bike together? Oh, what are you doing here?
Yeah. It makes me think of season 2 Stranger Things. Weren't there a whole gang of kids from the program and they all did slightly different things? Did they just like conveniently forget about all that in season 3? Whatever happened. She had like a sister.
No, they do. They totally drop that plot line. They never go back to them in any of the seasons. Maybe we will for 5. The one goes off, but we don't know what happened. And I guess in 4 they do revisit that there was a ton of kids at that place.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the more we talk about this, the more Stranger Things is just like, what if we took Akira out of Neo Tokyo and into Hawkins, Indiana?
Neo Gary, Indiana.
So
I'd watch it. I wonder if you think there's an Akira bike slide in Stranger Things somewhere. Someone's doing it on like an old Duffy bike.
And yeah, it would be on one of their bikes. Who would it? I bet it's Steve Harrington if it's anyone though.
Ooh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
they're gonna be so old when season 5 comes.
Yeah, we can't get into that. It's really upsetting. Like they're even doing a time jump, and they're still gonna be too old for whatever their time jump is.
Oh boy. Not to keep harping on this similarity with, or like drawing comparisons to Stranger Things, but I think Stranger Things would benefit from leaning more into like the dark violence that Akira does, and not so much like the 80s soap opera. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like they were a biker gang, right? And Tetsuo and Kaneda were part of it. Kai was not. Kai's not part of the group, but that's how. So there's this big group of 7, 8 guys that are all real close friends, like from childhood, biker gang.
Yeah.
But the movie only ends with Kaneda, Kai, and Tetsuo of the main trio. Like, the whole group didn't get together to be like, we do love you, Tetsuo. Sorry, we're always ragging on you. Like,
one of them dies.
One died. Like, I just meant like story-wise, the biker gang gets disbanded almost immediately.
Yeah, it switches up gears pretty quick. So unfortunately, if you wanted that biker gang movie,
it feels like
comes
a
back
tease
towards
almost.
the end.
It comes back a little towards the end, but it almost feels like a tease is the problem. And there's this whole thing where Tetsuo just really wants to steal Kanede's bike.
Well, that was the thing watching it this time, like, because after the crash, you don't really see the red bike for a while. So the middle portion of the movie, I was like, damn, they put that thing on the poster. It is like, it is not in there. But it does come back for the final confrontation. I also love at the end when he's riding it and it's all beat up, like the front wheels, like doing this in the front. It looks so good. I can't explain.
Gosh. And so there's all of that. Like I said, there's a lot of action here in the middle without a lot of exposition. I think that's the problem is I don't feel like the breadcrumbs were consistent. I feel like we got some in the beginning, they took some time off, and then we got a lot at the end.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
There's a lot of action in the middle where I'm like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm all right following the action, but I am a guy who likes to know what's going on story-wise.
The middle portion is the most Stranger Things. It's Tetsuo walking around in a hospital gown. It's the TikTok.
It's the TikTok sound.
Leave me alone.
And his head's getting bigger, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what's happening every time that ding happens.
But
I will say, though, Ty convinces me that he's got a bad headache. I'll be honest. Yeah. His screams really sell me.
Yeah. That first headache that Tetsuo gets after he, like, pummels the shit out of some biker dude, and he's hallucinating his guts falling out, and and then it flashes just to him scooping him up.
Oh, that's till the end when his... Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Now, I wonder, is that Akira reaching out to him psychically?
It is.
Okay, here's a question.
I think it's the kids, too, because then the kids show up in the hospital, and they're like bears that are dripping, bears and bunny that are dripping milk. And then he goes, and then he starts bleeding, and they're like, blood. That's what makes me think they're children, but they're not, because they're like in kid, I don't know. So, like, I think that's maybe what it's supposed to signify, is that they have, like, the maturity of children still, but they are old people.
Yeah. Why is that one kid floating in a chair? Just because?
Charles Xavier.
He can walk.
They were like, yeah. Just like, wouldn't you? I mean, listen, if that was like no mental energy to make a chair fly around, you're telling me you wouldn't sit in it all the time?
I didn't think of that. I didn't think he was propelling the chair.
He's for sure propelling the chair. He's psychic.
Here's what I want to ask you. Do you think Akira is sentient? Do you think, I don't know if the movie, I'm sure it does, and maybe I'm just too stupid to pick up on it, but is Akira the one reaching out to Tetsuo, giving him these flashbacks, or am I reading not far enough? Did I miss something?
I thought it was him, I guess, because that's the whole time he's like, I gotta find this Akira.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only thing would be, it would just be the kids and he was mistaking it. No, I think it was Akira.
Yeah, it is Akira, because Akira takes him to wherever they all go at the end, which that's something we should talk about at some point. It's like, what the fuck is the ending?
Yeah, you know what? Now's as good a time as any, because there's a lot of yada yada to get to the end, and then there's a big final battle where there's a laser satellite missile. The general's there.
That's just so cool.
This is what I'm saying, is this movie has every sci-fi trope you can think of in it.
Yeah.
And then he starts Cronenberging, and it's nuts. And so it Kanada's on his bike again, and he's got a laser gun, which it's so funny. He's able to stop tanks, missiles, and whatever, but like Kanada, he just lets his guard down around, I guess, because they're old school friends.
Well, the first shot, he catches Tetsuo off guard because he's not even he doesn't mount the laser on his shoulder.
It's pretty cool, actually. Like, he low shoots it.
What is it called in video? Hip shooting or whatever?
Hip shooting, yeah, that's what it is.
It's like when Sean Connery does his James Bond thing, it's from like his
it's
hip.
from the hip. It's cool.
Shoots from the hip. I can't speak for whatever reason. But anyways, that was like a small detail I noticed. And I was like,
caught him off guard.
Yeah, caught him off guard. That was pretty sweet.
So... there's a ton going on. We can talk about this. This final battle is nuts. Let's talk about it, and then we can get into what you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, but it's at the Olympic Stadium.
Wow. Also, no. Also, we'll go back just a bit. So he's reading this. I think they all had all the same psychic powers, because he also does the thing where he talks through one of their friends. It's off camera. We just don't see it. The one Kai or Kay, one of them comes back, and he was like, am I really blah 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 right now? And he's like, where's the? So then he's reading the girl, old lady person's mind, kid, and he goes, under the stadium. Is that where it is? Huh? Why? What? I guess, so if it's the Olympic Stadium, I guess the government built it. So maybe the government...
where the original explosion was, though? Is that maybe...
is that ground zero? That would make sense. I think. That would make so much sense, actually.
Conjecture.
No. That makes sense, though, because I think that's where all the kids were housed and Akira was housed.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing. The kids the whole time are warning Tetsuo, you can't use the power that way. You can't use the power that way or it'll consume you. What do you think they mean by that? Akira got consumed and became a nuke? Or like, I guess, yeah, like, what do you think actually played out 30 years ago? These are the questions I'm left with. Like, what happened with Akira? He was using his powers just too much, too frivolously?
That's a good question. I think he must have lost control of his powers and it blew up. And the government of this movie says, "Oh, it was an act of war. It was
an act of war."
But really, it's one of their own creations that lost control.
And so that's what the kids are warning Tetsuo of, is like, you don't want to be another Akira.
Yeah, which he doesn't. And also, why?
Wait,
why
no,
is he so
doesn't.
angry?
Doesn't he? Well, because he's got these new powers and the government's trying to trap him, and he didn't ask for any of this. And his friends pick on him all the time.
Yeah, I can see how pacing wise and like backstory wise, it's like, why is Tetsuo so angry?
Why is Tetsuo so angry the whole time? You don't know till the end that his friends treat him as lesser than. He's the outcast of the group.
He's a little twerp. I mean,
don't let him catch you saying that. He'll fucking destroy you, dude.
Every group has one.
That's what I think the point is, though, is like, they show
everyone's got a heel in their
is
group.
like, while he may be the butt of the group, like, oh, Kaneda did still care about him. He taught him how to ride his bike and whatever. But like, this is the only thing that made him too twerpish for me, is I was like, he literally keeps trying to steal Kaneda's bike. I'd be so annoyed if I was like, dude, no, get the fuck out of here. You're stop trying to take my bike.
Also, is that the true test of loyalty? If you had gone power crazy and with psychic powers, government's hunting you down, love you, man, but I think I'd be like, I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna let the government do what they do. This is why I pay taxes. Like,
but
they got
Kaneda
this.
says, I'm the only, he's my friend. I have to be the one to kill him.
Yeah.
If anyone's gonna kill him, it's gonna be me. That's what he says. I think word for word.
They're so nonchalant about killing.
You're saying, well, what if you're the only one who could do it?
Like a Wolverine, Jean Grey.
100% like that. No, like, you're the only one they think would be able to break through to me.
Yeah. I guess. Do I have to suffer? Is there pain involved for me? That's where I might draw the line.
There's a lot of risk. I could just tear you limb to limb.
Probably not.
Are you able to Scarlet Widow me if I'm the Hulk? Are you able to calm me down? What do you do? I think I know what you should try.
I would go.
You should try our intro.
Watch cartoons. Sun's going down, big fella.
Yeah, that would work. I think that would work.
Yeah. Leave me alone. Ding.
Yeah. Evan and I are wannabe movie critics. We're also wannabe chefs.
We're all doing more cooking at home now. If you want to elevate your home cooking, you need nice tools to do it. Louis Kitchenware will get you there. They have beautiful stainless steel pans, non-stick bakeware, knives, all the stuff you need. Safe, high-quality materials, constructed to last, made in the United States, founded in Detroit.
Moving into my condo, we got hand-me-downs. So this new Louis Kitchenware has been great, and we love the discount. We want to share that with our listeners.
You can use code 2DUDES, that's TWO dudes, at louiskitchenware.com, and that'll give you 10% off anything on the site.
Check out our link in bio.
Two dudes watch cartoons.
So you're saying if you thought I was gonna tear your shit up, you'd be like, sorry, government, you're on this. Look, on the air, you got my permission. You could sit this one out.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I know it's stressing you out.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really like to believe, I love superheroes so much that, like, if the call of action was called to me, I like to believe I would step up to it. But my world was shooken when I was talking to our good buddy Michael O'Rear, and he was like, I was like, if you had a superpower, like, what kind of superhero? And he's like, I don't know, I'd be a superhero. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm not like a soldier or a cop now. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude. I was like, I've never even framed it in that sort of, like, I'm not trying to help people now. Why would I try to help them when I can teleport?
I mean, I put the grocery cart in the thing. I hold doors open for people. I'm out there on the front lines of
I'm a
courtesy.
local hero. Yeah. I'm a hero to the people who matter. No,
Yeah.
I do like to believe, like the Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. I like to believe I would rise to the occasion.
But this we're getting off track here. But like, that's a whole nother thing. Because how often are you encountering crimes on a regular basis? Are you buying a police scanner to go hunt down? Like, it seems there's like a certain
If
point
I
of
had a
inconvenience for me where I'm
strong-
not jumping in.
If I had a strong sense of justice, I would have
Yeah.
enrolled in the police academy to try to stop the bad
Yeah,
guys. But
like
I
I'm
never once in my life did I consider that. But I consider being a superhero every goddamn day of my life. You know what I mean?
like if someone's yelling at someone in a store, like yelling for the manager, being rude. I don't know that I'd step in if I. I mean, maybe that scenario if I was there.
I think
I'd be
that's
like,
how
if I had
Uncle Ben
superpowers.
died. I think that's literally how Uncle Ben died, if I'm being honest.
True. Do you think? Oh, this is what I want to ask. Do you think you could cut it in Kaneda's biking?
Oh, fuck no, dude. I ain't cool enough. I would be Tetsuo of the
Yeah.
group is the problem.
Trying to steal my bike? No, I remember like the first time I got on, like a Lime scooter or something with a bunch of people. We were zipping around. I was like, I'm going too fast. I gotta slow down.
I do have a need for speed, though. I'll be honest. That is like something I really like. So I would like that aspect of it.
I was gonna say you were also a klepto at one point in your life.
Whoa, bro. Stop it. Get out of here with that. I take no ownership or responsibility to any of those claims as my face turns beet fucking red. Shout out, go watch our YouTube. Holy crap. Yeah. I mean, look, okay, so maybe I would have enjoyed the crime part of the
Yeah.
biker gang, but I
I probably
know
fall
the
closer
dynamic.
to Tetsuo than a Kaneda in this
correct.
biker
Yeah.
gang.
Yeah. Like I would do it for the camaraderie. Like, don't get me wrong. If that's my group of friends, I'm doing it. Like, I don't have a moral stance against the biker gang.
No,
It's more so I just am not going to be much value to them.
Yeah. I'm so uncomfortable with any sort of mischief, any sort of like tomfoolery.
You really are, aren't you? Oh my God, you really are.
There was the thing in high school, people would like, it was like a game called like Kidnapped. Like,
Yeah.
you drop your friend off,
Yeah. And
not
then
give them their
you
phone.
got to get to the other car.
Never did it. I think it came up and I was like, man, that would really fucking stress me out. Like,
It was so much fun, Evan. I played all the time.
don't love it. Don't
You have
love it.
such an aversion to actual real life mischief.
It makes me so uncomfortable.
Even just talking about it, you're sweating.
How did we get here?
This is the best. This is why we podcast, baby. What are we talking about? Akira.
The final battle, though.
Yeah. Let's so you wanted to talk about like theories at the end. So satellite laser, which the government got off 3 fires. Fucking Tetsuo goes up and is like, I'm gonna rapid fire this bitch. It just starts firing down on New Tokyo.
So cool. Also, I love they fake us out twice. Where once Kaneda shoots him in the chest with the laser, but the laser conveniently burns out of battery right when it hits him. And then also with the soul, like the whole crew almost gets wiped out with the soul. Or maybe it was, no, yeah. And like the blue
satellite,
light starts coming on and then
And it
it's
faded at the last second.
like, I love, like that shit is just like building up suspense so well and just masterful storytelling.
Yeah, last minute saves. It's really good. I didn't even think about this. Adventure Time, like you said, was definitely influenced by Akira. The whole losing of the arm. That's Finn textbook 101. In every timeline, every dimension, he loses an arm, just like Tetsuo loses his arm, and he creates this gnarly metal one, which becomes like flesh and metal and not cool towards the end.
Yeah. Him losing control of his body. Another cartoon that we love that spoofs it, Steven Universe. Also a lost episode. The Cat Fingers episode.
The Cat Fingers episode.
Season 1, very early.
But
Tetsuo loses control of his arm. Like it's like flesh having a mind of its own. Cronenberg, exactly. If you
nasty,
have
gnarly,
not seen this movie, is like just
bubbling
this stuff.
flesh, metal.
It's like grotesque. It's I don't know. I
Do you
can't
think
even
this is the
explain it.
most rated R thing we've covered?
Yeah, there were full boobs in there.
There's full boobs. But this has definitely got to be the first nudity we've ever covered, I
Yeah,
imagine.
true. I
We're
No
growing
tits in
up.
Shrek, yeah.
We're like, yeah, there's no boobs in Shrek.
Yeah,
Despite fans protesting for them anyways.
yeah. Okay. I mean that the fact that this has such a legacy and like this was like the breakout anime hit in the West, and I imagine it must have been rated R, right? Like they say fuck.
Oh, I
in
don't
this.
even know. I just meant for this podcast. We've been talking about a lot of
for sure,
kleptomania,
for sure.
boobs.
For sure.
We're talking about everything.
Yeah, this is the most risque we've covered.
Risque. So you wouldn't have even joined the biker gang. Like if it was all your friends from childhood and they're like, we're starting a gang to do mischief and thievery, you wouldn't have done it, would you?
I would not have been in the gang.
That's when you would have lost
been
those
part
friends.
of the coup. The K, they're trying to break the kids out. No part of it.
Evan would be like, well, they got in trouble. They're going to have to serve their time, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I would even be one of the people observing the riots in the street. I think I would want to be safely at home.
Everyone would be watching on the news. That's fucked.
Yeah. I don't agree with this regime politically from a distance.
That's too funny.
But does Tokyo gets wiped out again, right? At the end?
It's another Akira incident.
This, most rated R, also highest death toll movie we've covered.
Gotta be. Here's my other question. The public starts cheering for Akira. What does the public think Akira is? Do they think it was the attack 30 years ago?
It's Q, man. It's Q.
Oh
no, this is reminding me of like the recent The Batman. Sort of. Did it happen in Dark Knight Rises? But it's like the people taking up whatever cult thing that is anti-government in a way.
It's almost like Watchmen. It feels like how they took what's his name, Rorschach's message, and really twisted it to their own anti-government agenda. Okay, yeah, you've convinced me there. It started to remind me of a little bit of Death Note, actually, because his name is Kira, not Akira. But I wondered if Akira meant so Kira means like killer or like righteous killer or something. So I was wondering what Akira meant. Do you know what it means?
I do not.
It's okay if you don't. Oh yeah, I don't. I guess the internet is handy like that. I just feel like if I Google Akira, it's gonna pop up with the movie.
Meaning bright, clear, ideal.
Oh, dude. Oh, okay.
Ding.
So,
leave me alone.
So it's literally so bright at the end, the general has to like turn away from it. Like, so that makes sense. But the ideal part is probably where the public is like, it was just this kid's name that caused this massive event. And the public is like, no, it's this bright new future that we're working towards.
Yeah.
And the government's like, no, you idiots. It's a terrorist.
And I think you could almost, I don't want to say the noise of all this movie, but with everything going on, the political undercurrent of it, I think there's probably a lot more meaning that I'm recollecting at the moment. But I think it is all there,
Yeah.
Which is one of the, like, the world is built so well. Like, it is so rich. And I'm pretty sure, I don't think the movie covers the entire course of the manga. So
I imagine it probably covers start to finish, but it's probably missing things in the middle. You think there's stuff after?
I feel like I'm making that claim off something I read a long time ago, but
okay. Either way, I mean, despite some of my flaws in nagging and nitpicking, it's still a great watch. It's like a really fun, a ride throughout, and I think just the influence and the reach that it has on modern animation speaks for the time, the 80s. People were not seeing movies like this at all. And so this was something very different. And it got a whole 2-3 generations later. Anime is like super mainstream now. And it's no longer people in the NFL are talking about anime. It's no longer just me and my YouTube in my bedroom.
I looked it up. Akira the movie, Volume 3, ends where this movie ends, of 6. So there's presumably more.
There's 3 other. That's nuts. Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that now. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into all of that now.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the.
I hate reading. Just kidding.
Should we do some letterbox reviews maybe?
Yeah.
and then go to
Yes.
close?
Yes. Let's hotbox, get some letterbox reviews. I got a good one here pulled up right away. It's 4 stars. Well, how are they gonna have the Olympics now? It's good.
Yeah. Are we getting an Olympics next year? Did the 2020 thing throw us off? We had one in 2021.
I think they're keeping it the same because I actually think they still called the 2021 Olympics. I think they still called them the 2020 Olympics.
Okay.
Even though they took place in the wrong year, if that makes sense.
Here we got one. 4 stars. Kaneda and Tetsuo should have just fucked and we would have gotten rid of a lot of the tension between them.
Literally, though, not wrong at all.
Random thought. Late aughts Kanye West, very influenced by this movie. Kaneda has the
red
pink
jumpsuit.
polo.
Oh, yeah.
Red
Oh, yeah.
jumpsuit?
Yeah, he wore a red jumpsuit on our tour.
True.
The
and
pink
then
polo. Wow.
Is it the Stronger music video where he's in the little chamber, the gadgetry's going around him? Not ripping off, but very, very heavily influenced by it.
I totally
Akira.
forgot. We didn't actually even discuss the ending, but this is a good segue. Let's get into our theories. So this says 4 stars. The moment when your ego boost doesn't help you in Neo Tokyo, so you have to go play God elsewhere by creating your own universe. Do you think Akira and Tetsuo created a whole new universe that the psychic children can go live in?
I don't know. Did we?
We didn't get into our
we didn't
theories.
get
What do
into
you
theories,
What do you
yeah.
think happened at the end? Tell me.
I don't know if he like pulled their consciousnesses back in time or like
To the Big Bang.
to some other plane of existence. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. I kind of read it as like this, like they Big Banged somewhere else, like into a different universe. So they created their own pocket dimension with their own psychic ability. They just brought all their matter to a point, like a black hole. I don't know if this is like popular science fiction or actual science theory, but when I was younger, I always thought a black hole was so like, I mean, if you think about it, like the Big Bang was just nothing and then it expanded. So like in a different universe, I imagine that's a black hole sucking things in. And so like the center of the galaxy is like, that was what our Big Bang was a different universe's black hole. And it sucked a bunch of shit in. And that's where we got all our matter from.
I like that. I don't know what physicists would think of that, but we should get an expert on to.
Yeah. Because then that would make sense how we got all these elements and matter and why it's so finite and specific. It's only things that made it through the black hole.
Someone smarter than us, if you're listening, tell us if
Let
we're
us
way
know.
off base. Just tell us interesting stuff about space.
Because everything's
really.
expanding from one point. Wouldn't that make sense if it was
Whoa.
chucking things out?
We all know the Lord created the universe in
Get the fuck out of here. I was like, where are you going with this? Our Lord and Savior
2,000
created the
years
earth
ago.
about 6,000 years ago. So this is Tetsuo the Iron Man, 3.5 stars.
I like it. This is 5 stars. Probably the most galvanic and visceral example of a nation's collective psychic fallout since Honda's Godzilla, simultaneously dreading and anticipating a return to power. And that's the sort of articulation in like the themes around this movie that I'm not smart enough to have, but I know it's there, you know? Like,
I know it's
like,
there. I can spot
I'm
it.
kind of picking up what you're throwing down, but I'm not smart enough to know the historical context.
Some of these letterbox reviews are essays, dude.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those films. I also feel like this is one of those films that like film bros are like, you gotta watch Akira. You know,
So
and
while we're on the subject, like I love and respect its influence and its widespread, like it was able to get anime into our lives. But like as far as anime movies go, if we're ranking them against others, I wouldn't be like, this is the best. You know what I mean?
Watch Digimon again.
Hey, I would probably watch Digimon again before this, if I'm being honest. Like, it was good. I enjoyed the ride, but like, as far, like, how do I put this? to me, I feel like from I know this is not the timeline of anime, but the timeline is this is the starting point, the jumping off point of anime is this movie, and we made it all the way to like My Hero Academia, which people argue is like takes all the best parts of all former animes and like streamlines it, puts it in one anime. I feel like I can see anime like learning from other animes and like growing and like not making the same mistakes like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece make, where it's like 1,000 episodes and you're like, wow, that was a 12 episode span where nothing fucking happened. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen in My Hero. And so you see like the progression, and like to me, I can see how this is like the starting point. I can see how this is how people take off this and improve it or spin on it, or does that make sense? Like this itself is not perfect, but I love and respect what it has done for so many people creatively.
It's a foundational piece of media.
Yes.
But also, I mean, you know, it is 2 hours ish long. It's dense story wise. There's a lot there.
Yeah, there's parts that are confusing.
It's a masterpiece, but it's like, you know, it's one that I sit down to watch every 3-4 years.
Are we describing old Kanye West also?
Don't get us canned.
Genius.
This one doesn't have a star rating, but it says
that means
really
no stars.
I didn't. Okay. They said I really just didn't know what was going on 90% of the time, which, you know, fair.
That's I don't want to say I fell into that category, but I totally see how people could. Like this is not something I would recommend to a ton of people. You know what I mean? Like you have to be like a big anime lover for me to be like, you should go watch Akira. Like I would never recommend this to someone who doesn't love anime.
And I keep bringing up Digimon. I've been watching more Digimon. I've been like getting into it recently. But so after our last episode with our good friend Courtney, there were some newer series and movies. I watched a couple. I think Courtney watched Digimon Adventure. You know, the first season cast has a newer movie. There's one coming out in October. I think that'll be the second cast. But I was gonna say, you know, we both said we'd probably watch Digimon again over this. Well, the director of the middle portion, our war games of Digimon the movie. So this is the one with the Omnimon section. That director, Mamoru Hosoda, has directed 2 other movies that are essentially the same. They're not set in the Digimon universe, but it's like
the same plot.
There's like online avatars. They fight like some big bad virus. I watched one, Summer Wars, last night. Pretty good. You know, similar storyline. The next one is Bell. So it's Summer Wars was in 2009. If you watch the trailer, it looks like you're like, are these all Digimon? I think you literally, I sent you a screenshot. You're like, is this Digimon?
Yeah.
And then the other one is called Bell, which came out in 2021. But hey, good on him, you know?
Yeah.
If you can get away with making the same movie 3 times and they're bangers every time.
If the juices were, if you can keep squeezing that juice.
We'll have to have Courtney back on to watch the newer Digimon movies.
Catch up on them.
On the other 2
any
versions
more of these
of
letterboxes you have here?
I did none that are jumping out at me.
Best motorbike movie ever, probably. Yeah, a lot of 5 stars, but then there's the occasional low ones. People who didn't get it, people who were like, I was too stoned to understand this. But overall, a lot of high ratings. So let's get into ours. Let's you start us off here, Evan. What do you bring to the table for Akira?
I said it earlier. This is a foundational piece of media, of animation, of anime. You got to watch it once in your life. You just, you know, it's for as long or as dense as it may be. It's just such a sight to take in. The quality that's packed into like every frame and cell of this movie is unbelievable. You know, I come around to it every couple of years just because it is, you know, it is kind of it's one you got to pay attention to. It's not a background movie. You can't be scrolling on your phone. Watch it once at least. I'd give it a 4.5. You know, I don't come out of it jumping out of my chair like I do the Digimon movie, but this is like one of the greatest films, animated films especially of all time. So do yourself a favor and check it out. Also, I didn't touch on this, but the score in this movie is fucking bumping, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
Every time they got those drums going, doom, 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 like I get so hyped, dude.
The score takes it like up a whole nother level here. It's really good. It makes those scenes much more heart racing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get my headache here. Okay, so I'm gonna be the local hater. Like I said, Evan was right. This is fundamental. You should watch this one time in your life. If you like anime, if you like animation, you will appreciate it. But it's dense. It's heavy. You can't be scrolling on your phone, like Evan said. You will miss something important. And that being said, like the animation itself is beautiful. It's not perfect, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5 stars. I feel like that's more realistic. I don't know. That's a hot take. I feel like that's more realistic to the like if we're I'm not taking time, place, whatever. I'm just taking 5 stars as the perfect movie. I'm not taking context into consideration here. This is a 3.5 star movie in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Still a fundamental you should go see. Like I don't want that to sound like it's bad. It's a great 3.5 star movie. Like if that makes sense.
All right.
It's not like when you got a B plus as a kid versus but like my parents were like thrilled with a B plus as a kid.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to put it in perspective here.
For sure. I
Any closing thoughts? What last final thoughts here? I know we just kind of did them, but what, let me ask you this to end on. What's your favorite scene or part or like the thing in it? You know what I mean? I know mine.
I'm tempted to say the bike stuff at the beginning, but the final battle, I think Tetsuo and Kaneda, you understand what the stakes are. You understand their backstory. Everything like the body, whatever shit's going on, it's just so cool to watch. The animation is beautiful. It's grotesque. Yeah,
grotesquely awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite is when the fucking satellite laser surprised us and fucking what? That was great.
Yes. It is badass.
Felt like the whole movie was leading to that moment, and the fact that it didn't even fully kill him, you're just like, oh, no way. That's like some real anime shit. Like, I'm going to unleash my final ultimate move. That's what the government did. And Tetsuo was like, I'm not dead yet, you son of a bitch. And he's like, oh my God, hit him again.
It's one of those movies, like, or one of those moments when, like, Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z would take off his thing and then it crushes the rocks because it's so heavy. And
yeah.
Now I'm super fast.
Now I'm ready. Yeah.
Shout out Chris Sabat, voice of
like
Piccolo.
if he had been, if like Tetsuo was like that tickled after, then it would have been like peak anime. Yeah. Yeah, this was a great watch though. I'm glad we covered this. I'm glad we re-covered this because I also think while we are saying you should watch it one time in your life, I do think it benefits from watching it a second time. Like going in, because the first time, or maybe just listening to this podcast beforehand, the first time not knowing the context, you like really get set into the biker gang, Neo Tokyo, grifty stuff. And then you're like,
it really pulls you in.
You're like, whoa, now there's psychic children, sci-fi government uprest? How did we get here? So I think that, knowing what it's about, you could stay a little more tracked on the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Before we move on to any news or anything, I remember first time we talked about this in the Lost episodes. That was 2017. I remember at that time there were whispers. I think there's probably been whispers of a live action Akira adaptation at probably since it's come out. I think I remember the last time we had talked about it, that was like maybe Taika Waititi was attached to it. I don't think that's happening anymore. I don't think there's an adaptation happening anymore because I do believe it was set at Warner Bros. I think was who had
the rights.
Had the rights, and we all know how they're doing right now. So I don't think
they
that's
ain't making
happening.
any Akira movie anytime soon.
That aside,
the live action movie, Hi Akira. like it's not like it totally loses the Akira.
Yeah. Who would you want to see?
Oh.
Twofold question. Oh, God damn it.
Your hand motions.
I turned that back on yesterday for no reason because I was setting up my new desk.
I'm screaming.
That twofold question.
Yeah.
One, who would you like to see direct a live action?
Oh.
And who would you like to see in the cast?
Okay. Let me think. You have an answer for either? Stall for me while I think. Yeah. What do you got? Give me one.
Number one, Denis Villeneuve.
Villanuevas. Denis Villanuevas.
I butchered his name. I'm so sorry. But the masterful director of Dune,
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049.
No, you're right. Only he could handle this.
Only he could. Because if you watch Blade Runner 2049, it looks like this movie.
It's got a big Akira feel.
Like the dark sort of colors and like this is like the perfect cyberpunk.
I think you nailed
film.
the director, if I'm being honest. Who?
Yeah. All right, let's try and think of someone else.
No.
Anderson.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who could play Big Head here. Like, who's got the head for Tetsuo?
Who's the older? Who's Sadie Sink's older brother in Stranger Things? I feel like he
Billy
could do
Montgomery or whatever his name is. Oh yeah. I think he's not in Chronicle, right? Are we just stealing from the? No,
he
okay,
was.
Okay.
You know what he was in though?
Power
Connection
Rangers
to
movie?
Johnny Young Bosch. Yeah, he was the Red Ranger.
That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking of.
Also,
because
did you watch that movie?
a little bit of it, because the Power Ranger movie starts like Chronicle. They're like in a cave and they're like, "What's this?" That's why I was thinking, oh, weird connection.
The movie was pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
it was not
sort of
bad. I don't. I think I fell asleep in it, but I don't think that's a testament to the movie. If I'm being, you know what I mean.
I was honestly disappointed when the franchise went nowhere because I thought
because it could have been something big. Yeah. I totally agree. I thought they had good actors for it. So that was a weird nowhere burger.
Yeah. Dave Filoni. Just kidding.
Stop it. Be nice. What else? I think we're done here. I don't have anything else. Do you?
No, I got nothing.
There's news. The strike is
They're back at the table. WGA
They're back
and
at the
PTP are talking again.
Which is big because before they weren't even discussing.
Yeah, and I think we must be 150 plus days now into that.
Well,
strike.
I think it's 100. Yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll be 150 plus.
Praying for a conclusion to that, so writers and actors can get back to work, and
be compensated fairly for their work.
It's been strike summer, dude. UAW's on strike now.
Yep,
Labor
I support
actions,
them
my man.
big too, because about a decade ago they got a huge motherfucking bailout from the government, and now they're not. What you're telling me, you're not paying your employees fairly? What the fuck are you talking about? That's taxpayer money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so they started negotiating maybe Thursday this week. It's now Saturday. There's been like AMPTP's doing the thing where like there's like leaks. So like if they don't agree to something by tomorrow, we'll stretch it out to the end of the year. So hopefully negotiations can continue in good faith.
We're pro strike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your money. Get what you deserve.
For sure. This is one we wanted to talk about, the streamer rankings, right?
Yeah, go for it. I totally forgot.
I don't even have it pulled up direct.
Fuck, neither of us are ready for it. You have to have it. You sent it.
Oh, man. We saw a tweet that showed the cancellation rates of all of the popular streamers. I can't find it right now.
We send too many tweets to each other. It's got to be before Mewy Griffin, right? Here it is. I got it. All right. Max has the highest cancellation rate of any streaming platform at 26.9%, which is pretty big if you think about it, because they're dealing with large numbers. Apple TV has the lowest cancellation rate of 4.9%, and I think that's just because people forget they have it. But here is the list from worst to best, if that makes sense. So starting with Max, the next one's Disney Plus. And that one, I think that's a seasonal streamer, if that makes sense. People are going to only get it for the shows they want. And then Paramount Plus, Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, Prime Video, and Apple Plus. And Prime Video, actually, that's embarrassing because Prime Video just comes with Amazon Prime. So that you should have like a 0% cancellation
don't want
rate.
2-day shipping.
Yeah. Yeah, like what?
I think seeing that tweet reminded me to cancel Apple TV recently.
That's what I'm saying. I was like half making a joke, but
it's also in a weird place. Like you have to go and do like, I canceled it on my phone because it's in your settings, subscription. Yeah. It's a weird spot.
I'm bringing it back once Severance is. That's the only time I'll bring it back. Now that Ted Lasso's gone.
Yeah. I think in light of that, I saw a screenshot somewhere, or no, this was like a Nielsen thing, but I think this is most streamed series.
Oh, you see this?
Yeah, Suits is like
Suits has got over 30 billion minutes viewed or whatever on Netflix all of a sudden.
What is? I mean, I had a Suits phase. I watched it when it was.
Did you? I've never seen an episode. All I know about it comes from recently, and it's that Meghan Markle was in it. It's about lawyers, but so like.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like a not procedural, but
do you think it's Meghan Markle that has made it this watched? What did it?
Maybe,
why is it?
I don't know. It was on Netflix recently. I don't know if they promoted it.
It got added recently to Netflix. That is part of it. Is like it wasn't on Netflix. The whole series got added, but it overtook.
Meghan Markle,
had to play part of it, right? People wanted to be like, oh, let's see where she actually started on, because she's super controversial, and that gets views either which way you cut it.
And
because people probably want to watch it to be like, oh, she's a shit actress, or they want to watch it to be like, oh, she's really good. Like because people are hate watching it and love watching it because she is extreme. She's polarizing.
Let this be an open invitation to either hate watch or love watch. Two Dudes Watch Cartoons on YouTube. Find us on TikTok. So the second most streamed series by minutes on this Nielsen thing is Bluey on Disney Plus. Bluey.
Yep.
Which I'm gonna have to be getting into that in 2, 3, 4 years. We're getting down to the wire. So
you know what? That's when we'll cover it. Let's do that. When you have to start actually watching it is when I'll do it, because I am worried it's like it is kid focused, but I hear it's like pretty funny, like as weird as that sounds.
Yeah, I've heard about it from people that don't have kids, which, you know.
Well, I'll be that guy soon. I'll be checking it out with you. So
who are we to judge?
Yeah.
With our podcast, two dudes watch cartoons.
Yeah, what am I saying?
Yeah. I mean, this goes back to the whole strike residuals thing, is like Suits, most streamed series ever, they're gonna anyone involved with the show gets
pennies on
residuals. That. Yeah. So that's fucked up. Hopefully the AMPTP will do the right thing. I need to cancel. Here's what I need to cancel: Disney Plus and probably Max. At this, I could do without Max. It's just
you watch a ton on Max. You're lying to yourself.
No, I think it's just the security blanket of like I know.
There's always something.
I know
on
I can
Max.
watch DCEU movies whenever I want.
Well, no,
which is not even that often.
DCEU movies, all of HBO's catalog. You're telling me that's like, I guess there's not anything new coming out at the moment.
I've watched them all. Yeah,
I've watched them all.
Succession was the last thing. Like I know Righteous Gemstones is
Righteous Gemstones is hilarious.
I've never kept up with it, but
it's so funny. And then The Last of Us will come back. But I get what you mean. Is you can. This is just me selfishly because I 100% use your Max. I'm literally fighting tooth and nail. You can't cancel it.
Ding! Leave me alone.
I was wondering how long it would take you to call that out.
You're trying to ESP me, talk through. No, I don't think I will. Jedi mind trick me. You bring up a good point. They do have a great catalog. Oh man, I think we
finish Fiona and Cake. Let's finish Fiona and Cake, and then we can cancel it. Okay, bought myself a couple more weeks.
Wrap us up. Get us out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. This has been fun though. I had a good time with. We will get to all. I think we will eventually get to all our lost properties. Because they're always fun once we do get back to it. But the other ones, so Steven Universe, Rick and Morty. I actually feel like we can wait on, if that makes sense. Like maybe till it's like finishing. If that,
Yeah, maybe
but
after the
I do
new
wanna
with the new voice actor.
maybe we could. Yeah, I do really want to revisit Steven Universe one day. That is something. I mean,
series.
that's what this podcast was founded on, honestly. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll finish this up here. But it's fun bringing this back. This is, I don't know, it's fun. It feels like addressing our roots, our origin story.
Yeah. This is this is the flashback before Alex and I duke it out to the death in the Olympic Stadium.
That's right.
This is the backstory.
You can't cancel Max. You can't. It's too soon.
Oh shit!
You shoot me from the hip. Why did I make myself that so? I gotta look into that. I'm wrapping this up. All right.
Yeah.
If you are loving this podcast, please check out more Two Dudes on Apple, Spotify, and also on YouTube. Please don't forget to follow us on Two Dudes Watch Cartoons on Instagram and TikTok. Once again,
We
that's
just crossed 5K on TikTok with 5,000
just
followers.
crossed
Thank you
5K.
if you found us on TikTok.
Yeah, we have a lot of people who have found us via TikTok, which is very fun. But if you're a longtime listener, go follow us on TikTok. We post a lot of these clips, and we have a lot of fun over there. And wherever you're watching, follow, like, rate, review, 5 stars, or don't bother at all. And so, yeah, just thanks for joining us again. Had a blast. I won't say your thing. I want to say it
That'll
so
do
badly.
it for this episode of Two Dudes Watch Cartoons. We will catch you next time.
Woo!
Two dudes watch cartoons. Yeah.
Oh, the thing I wanted to say was, did you see Rebecca Sugar? She's like putting out an album release or something.
Like a musical album?
Yeah. She's
I know,
on
well, she's
TikTok. She's on TikTok recently. Like, I think she's been off social media, but she's been doing like a live show, raising money for the Trevor Project. I think she had Estelle.
Fucking, that makes sense that she
Garnet?
would have
Is that
Estelle.
Garnet?
Yeah, it's Garnet.
But
She sings that. Garnet sings
American Girl.
Yeah. I like Garnet's song where it's the two of them. After you find out Garnet's a fusion all the time.
Yeah.
And she says the two of us are stronger than you because they're stronger than you. I love that shit.
But I mean, Rebecca Sugar does a lot of the music
Writes it all,
for Steven Universe, a lot of it for Adventure Time. So I don't think I'll cut this in. Maybe this will just be a TikTok.
Could be, yeah, whatever. It can make it at the end.
That's what I wanted to say. All right.
All right.
Stop the recording.
Now we're done.